Hi, welcome to EOtv. I'm Randall Mauricio.
And I'm Terry Apostle, and together we will have your full EOtv webcast.
Yeah, hopefully everyone enjoyed Andrea's tip last week from Steve Jagger.
Randall, can you remember the last full EO webcast?
Yeah, I think we did. We featured 2 EO members who shared their expertise and experiences in the book publishing industry, huh?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
we did. So in our first
Great
story
memory.
today, we're following up on the topic with multiple McGraw-Hill book author John KADOR, whose book 301 Best Questions to Ask on Your Interview is being released as a second edition next month.
Yeah, he'll be putting the finishing touches on the subject by giving his perspective of the book industry. Take a look.
Well, basically, I'm a business writer, consultant, and author. I've written about 20 books under my own name, about 10 or so in the career space. In 2002, I did write a book called 201 Best Questions to Ask on Your Interview. And in the 9 years since, the job landscape has radically changed, as we all know. So I think it was time to revisit the book and look at how the interviewing process has been changed and what applicants can do to exploit those changes. Writing a book is like getting into a long-term relationship. Just know 3 things. It'll take longer and be more expensive and be more confusing than you expect. And the upsides can be good and the downsides can be bad. So know that getting into a book is a major commitment. And it pays off, but don't underestimate the commitment they require. Certainly, if you have a compelling expertise on something that's not been written about in the same way before, that's very useful. Besides that, I would suggest some indicators for greenlighting a book is, do you have a broad base of people who follow you and are interested in you? The reality these days is that most of your book sales will be to people who know you, people who know you, or people who have in some way some relationship with you. Prospects, followers on Twitter, people you share an association with, whether it's Rotary Club or swimming or a professional association. These are the targets, the logical prospects that you'll be marketing to. Days when you can put your book on a shelf at Barnes & Noble and hope that people will just buy it are pretty much over. You have to have that built-in stakeholder relationship. It gets a little harder when you're writing about, social networking or psychology or design or branding. There you have to be a little bit more thoughtful on who the marketing targets are, who the prospects are. But in general, you go and do some research. You go to Amazon and do some searches on some titles and see what's selling, see what's out there.
We also caught up with Mary Glenn, the editorial director for McGraw-Hill Professional. She says editors are looking for the following things in an unpublished business book.
Yeah, they want a topic that resonates with a wide range of business professionals, as well as a book that'll appeal to readers who've already achieved success and are looking for that next technique or tip, for that matter, that'll take them to the next level in their success.
And don't forget to include proven strategies and examples of how they work. And it helps if writers already have a marketing platform, including mailing lists, blogs, client lists, industry contacts, and speaking and consulting engagements. This will help their publishing company in promoting them.
Lastly, they're looking for information that is practical and actionable.
Multitasking. We're all guilty of doing it, but did you know that a recent University of London study shows that your IQ drops by 10 points when you attempt to manage more than one project at the same time? We have the chance to talk with productivity expert and writer Karen LELAND to explain an easy and cost-effective strategy to get more efficient work out of your workday.
I'm Karen LELAND, and I'm the president of Sterling Marketing Group, and I've been in business for about 30 years. I've had a really interesting sort of business career. I've been a management consultant for a long time. For 25 years, I was a management consultant, and I worked with Fortune 500 companies all over the globe in terms of helping them become more market-driven and more customer-focused. Well, a virtual assistant is basically someone who works on the internet, who you use just the way you would use a regular assistant. Because of the internet and the social media and the way we work today, often what people do is they hire virtual assistants, meaning they find someone who is an assistant who is on the internet, and they give them all their work to do on the internet, and they communicate with them usually by email and by phone. Often it's strictly by email. What I found in my experience is that entrepreneurs and small business owners actually benefit hugely from having virtual assistants, and there's a couple of reasons why. One is if you're an entrepreneur or you're a small business owner, you may not have enough backing to be able to hire somebody full-time. As entrepreneurs, we want to focus on marketing. We want to focus on closing business. We want to focus on new innovation in products and services. And having to get slowed down by administrative tasks takes time away from that. So what a great virtual assistant, or a VA as they're called, does is they really offload all of that in a very easy, simple way. You know, if you look at the studies on distractions and multitasking, it's really become clear from all the research that's been done recently that multitasking and distractions really cause a problem at work. They cause us to lose focus. One study actually by the University of London said that if people are multitasking, they're trying to do different things at once, switching from one task to another, then they're essentially lowering their intelligence, their IQ by about 10 points. That you've got to reduce the amount of multitasking that you do, and you've got to really focus. And you know, in the book Time Management in an Instant, which I wrote recently, one of the things that we did in that book was we researched people who are really effective. What did they do? Well, one of the things we found out is that people who are really effective, they time plan. They chunk their time down. So they might say, for example, between 10 and 12 today, I'm going to do research on Project X. Between 1 and 3 today, I'm going to make marketing calls. Between 4 and 5 today, I'm going to do catch up on my email. So by dividing things into those chunks, they were really able to focus during that period of time. And, you know, I think that's one of the most critical things you can do. And what I'm finding with my clients is there are a couple of basic things they really want to make sure that they have. And one of them is if they have a BlackBerry or an iPhone, they all are looking for some kind of a to-do list that they can keep on the iPhone or the BlackBerry so that they've got it with them at all times. The best world is that you've got one that's on your PDA, but you also have one that gets mirrored on your computer at the office or your home office, because then you can update them from either place. I think the other thing that's really critical for people to have is a good customer system, a good system for managing your potential customers, you know, because you don't need a complex system, but you need some piece of software or something that really helps you manage who are your current clients, what do you have to do for them, who are your potential clients, what do you need to do for them. That kind of customer support software is really, really important to have. You want to have your VA send out the invoices, because even though those invoices produce cash, and of course they're very important to do, in terms of bringing more business into the company, your time is better spent with that hour calling the potential client or doing that marketing call. So I think it's a matter of having your VAs do the things that are the least marketing and the least, you know, client closing, because that way you're offloading the more routine everyday things, and it frees you up. It really does free you up to do more of the marketing, more of the closing, more of the things that get you closer to cash in the business.
Here is a list of websites that we found for a few companies to help you search for a virtual assistant service that will best fit your business needs. Be sure to write them down and visit them after the show.
But don't go to those websites just yet, because you'll miss my ever famous, or as I like to think so, motivational thought.
Ever famous, really? All right then, take it away, superstar.
I like it when you call me superstar.
Of course you do.
Don't think problem, think opportunity.
Oh. Very nicely said. And I think this is a good opportunity then to thank everyone for tuning in and remind them all about the next Tipcast next week.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
All right, well then we'll see you next time.
See ya. I'm not a problem anymore.
You're a solution.
I'm an opportunity.